The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual guests. If you're a sensitive snowflake that may get easily offended, then turn this off immediately. If you want to hear the real truth about the gun culture, then stick around. This is the Armed Citizen Podcast.
What is going on, my Ghost Squad? Welcome to the Armed Citizen Podcast Live. This is episode number 158. Today's date is, good God, Tuesday, September 15th, 2020. We are live as always on YouTube. If you're watching live in the chat, make sure you say hello. We don't know you're out there unless you say something. If you're new to the channel, new to the show, make sure you tell us where you're from. We'll give you a shout out. Welcome to the dark side. We hope we don't disappoint you too bad. Can't guarantee it. We'll probably disappoint, but hopefully it's not too bad. If you're watching in replay or and listening in podcast form and you want to get involved in the discussion, go ahead and utilize that comment section below. We'll be sure to answer any questions that we can. If you want to call or text questions to the show, you can most definitely do that on our Ghost Tactical Hotline presented by our good friends Rod and Shelly Gates at the Gun Cleaners. That phone number is 530-364-4678. So, call in or text them in. And if you text them in, we're just asking everyone to leave your screen name or whatever that you want to utilize when you text, so you know who it is. It comes through as a number, and we don't know who everyone's number is and all that. So, so Buck says hi from Arkansas. Yeah, Buck's never been here before, so I've never shot with Buck. I've never met Buck. He only lives half an hour from me, so it's all good. But no, tonight what we're gonna do is it's been a hell of a time, hell of a month, hell of a year, hell of a week, hell of a day, and we haven't done one of these in a long time where we just kind of free for all it and just take questions and just kind of have fun. Well, we've had some amazing guests in the last several months and all that, but sometimes it's nice to hang out with friends and just talk a little bit. So we're going to do that for the next hour or so and go from there. Before we get going, let's bring in our illustrious panel of friends from the great state of Kansas. We've got the tactical chicken himself. What's up, Gary?
Hey, not a whole lot. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, man, anytime. And from Oklahoma, I can't call the state of Oklahoma great. When you're a Longhorn, you can't stand Oklahoma. So, but from our neighboring state, the gun snob.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I can't stand OU either.
I knew we were friends for a reason. Oh hell! That's right. You're a Cowboy. Yeah, they're okay. I mean, like I said. They have the wrong color orange, but it's what it is, you know. Yeah, anything's better than OU or A&M, so we're good. And from the great state of Texas, the tactical virus, Leprechaun himself. What up, Clove?
We've got like a 4-state cabal going here, right? All bordering.
Yeah, we do, don't we? We're all somehow the Kevin Bacon. We've all kind of got that thing going. We're all kind of touching. That sounds bad. We're touching one another, but our states are touching one another. Stop. Snob, I know you're getting ready to say something.
Well, the problem is I'm the one in the middle because neither one of you
yes, are.
Me. So
that makes sense.
It's kind of concerning me.
Leave it to Oklahoma to be the one everybody touches.
Oklahoma's got to be in the middle of everything. Actually, I think there's a part. Is it Oklahoma or Kansas, Gary or Snob? One of them is like in the direct. If you like drop a point from, it's like in the direct center of the continental U.S. I think it's either Oklahoma or Kansas. I think
that would be Kansas.
Probably
okay.
Kansas.
Yeah.
Oklahoma's got the center of the universe in Tulsa, though. So
it's true.
True. Okay. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna talk about different things. We've already got a couple awesome questions out there. So like I said, if you have any questions, go ahead, call them in, text them in, put them in the chat, tag one of us. I don't have enough brain cells working today to really go into anything. So that's why we're going to just have a fun. We haven't done this in a long time. and all that. So the first question that I saw that came through is KP Kingpin asked if he could have $50. So there you go.
It's in the mail.
Yeah, that's right. It's in the mail for sure. Nighthawk out there, which I like, says, Ghost, why do you like Clover? And it asks Clover, why do you like Ghost? I'll tell you why I like Clover. There are very few people in this world that make me feel tall. And I might only have like an inch over him, but in my eyes, it might as well be a foot. So, and honestly, we met in a live chat, ironically on Braden's channel. I don't know if you guys knew that, Snobber Gary. We were on one of Braden's old live chats a long time ago, and somehow, some
Was
way,
he explaining how a fish break worked?
He was explaining. Yes, he was explaining how the green tip 5.56 was hollow, was armor piercing.
I don't honestly remember what it was he was talking about. It was nonsense because it was Braden, so whatever.
We were both, because we were both like raising questions, like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And then he and I start talking back and forth or something. But I don't know what it was
talking about. Loading a 200 grain projectile in a 40 Smith & Wesson or some crazy something with the powder he was using to blow somebody's hand off or something.
Yeah, and we were both like questioning his logic, and then he and I started having a conversation, and that's how Clover and I met, was questioning Braden, which is kind of, it continues today. So,
Look at Midnight's comment.
I don't even want to know, do I? Let me get down here.
He says fish break, bringing idiots together since 2015. That's absolutely true.
This is true. So that is how Clover and I met, was on Braden's, one of his live chats. I think Defense Dad out there is asking, what's my favorite gun channel to watch? Yeah, here it is. And wants to know, why my favorite gun channel is Defense Dad. So I think I asked him, who are you? But if he's asking a serious question about who my favorite gun channel is, I honestly, I don't know.
I can tell you my least favorite, and I bet everybody out there in the chat,
are you really going to start off bashing me already?
Everybody out there in the chat can probably tell you if you know my worst.
There is a hashtag that goes along with it.
There's a hashtag that goes along with it. If you're out in the chat and you know my most hated gun channel, then have at it. I'll let everybody else talk about their favorites, though.
Gary, do you have a favorite? I think I know what it is. I think if I had to guess, your favorite's Paul Harrell, but I might be wrong about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Snob, what about you? Do you have a favorite gun channel?
Gizzard Gary, all day long.
Oh, shit. Here we go. Oh, hell. Everybody go sub Gizzard Gary, by the way. We're trying to get him to 1,000 subs, and I think he's at 800 or so. So go sub Gizzard Gary. In all seriousness, do you have a favorite gun channel? Is it probably Paul Harrell right now? Isn't it?
It sounds bad, but I don't. I really don't. I watch way more non-gun stuff than I do gun stuff because I'm on the live streams. So I don't know. I mean, there's so many people doing such good work on videos that, I rely on the YouTube algorithm to feed me what it thinks that I want to watch. You know what I mean? And that could be a snob video. That could be an obnoxious video. Could be Sarge. Could be one of Gizzard's popped up the other day in the feed. So the days of having to put things in your watch queue, if you curate your YouTube homepage and tell it the trash that you don't want to see, click on it, tell it I don't want to see this anymore. And once you get that curated, it's really good about feeding you stuff. So I don't have a favorite. It's just whatever YouTube thinks I like, and it does a pretty good job.
Yeah, I like a couple different ones for different reasons. I like Minecraft Survival. I think you guys know that Clover. He's been on the show, but he does a lot of cool stuff. They're like more prepping stuff, and then he does a lot of videos on how to get your vehicle ready for survival and all of that, more survival stuff. And I've never been a big prepper or survival kind of a guy, but his videos I enjoy. I really, and this is, and I think people know this, that when I look for a gun, I do go to Such a lot, not because I think he's the best at it, but he usually is pretty detailed and he goes through the gun. and it's nothing fancy ish without maybe he does it about 20 minutes. So it's about half the time of a nothing fancy. But I've always kind of, and Suits does so many different reviews. So if you've got a gun that you're looking for and you're looking for a really good review and you got 20 minutes, I typically will go to Suits and watch the first 5, 6, 7 minutes of it and kind of see what he thinks about it. So I guess you would say maybe Suits, not because of I just watch his stuff, but I rely on, I trust Suits' I guess reviews on some stuff. I don't know for the funny stuff every now and then. I don't even know how to pronounce their names. Is it Pollinaire, whatever, Tactical, Polane, or whatever it is.
The guys from overseas.
Yeah, they do some funny ass shit. They do some stuff
or whatever.
Yeah, and they do some videos like they make fun of other gun channels and they get their mannerisms down, and they're pretty funny guys. So I enjoy, for a laugh, I'll enjoy watching some of those. But I'm kind of like most everyone else. I watch my friends' stuff, but outside of that, I don't watch a lot of gun content. And I know it sounds bad, but it is what it is. This is a good one from Kingpin, and we'll go through all of this. And he says, if you could do a TV show, what kind of show would you do? Late night comedy, sitcom, interview, etc. Snob, I want to start with you. If you could do a TV show, what kind would it be?
Like, are you a contestant on it, or are you producing it and starring in it?
I think you're like hosting it, or it's your show. It's either you can be like a Seinfeld, which your sitcom, or it's Jimmy Fallon, or whatever it is. But you're the star of the show.
I think it's more like you're maybe the producer or something, right? Also,
sure, or whatever. It's your show. You're not a guest on, but it's your show. What kind of show would if you said you've got an unlimited budget and it's going to be Thursday night at 7:00, which is like prime time? Do your show. What would it be?
I don't know. Tiger King, man. How can you go wrong?
Well, there's a lot of ways you can go wrong, but I'd watch it. I think you watch it because it's going to be wrong.
How about Snob can do the spinoff called Tiger Camo King?
Yeah.
There you go. Or Tiger. Yeah. I'm not going to go there.
Tiger Queen does not work. I think you already had that one.
I decided not to go there. We were on the same wavelength there.
Carol Baskin did it, by the way.
No doubt. There is no doubt. Even people that have never seen a minute of Tiger King know that Carol did it. There's no doubt. That tiger fed nicely. A bunch of those tigers fed nicely for a night. Gary, if you could produce your own show, what would it be? What kind would it be?
Well, I knew you was going to put me on the spot.
Well, I asked everyone. Eventually, you would be in the spotlight,
Yeah, I don't know. I suppose it'd be some sort of comedy, but I don't know if anybody'd laugh or not, but I would. But if I did, I'd have to have my guest stars on with me, who would be the Gun Snob and Sergeant C4 Defense and Obnoxious One, because we couldn't have a good time without those three along. So it'd be an awesome cast,
but yeah, it would definitely be better with it.
And of course, guest stars like Ghost Tactical and definitely Clover Tac.
With Clover, you never know what you're gonna get, man. I would like to do a show where like you just have Clover Tac talk for a while and you try to figure out what he's saying. Like between Snob and Clover,
you could put subtitles underneath it, translate it.
Snob and Clover out there talking a conversation. And
I speak perfectly fine, Okie.
Perfectly fine, Okie. That's right. Clove, what about you? What would you think about doing?
I don't know. A little known fact about me. I don't know. I'm gonna revelation tonight. Some people may know this. I'm a big fan of cooking shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
And particularly baking and things like that. But I think it's because, especially with the dieting this year, it's crap I can't have, right? And so it's kind of like,
you can't eat it, cook it.
Yeah, watch somebody cook it, right? So
right.
I always thought this while watching cooking shows, because they talk about it's kind of like Fry Cook out there. It's kind of like Midnight Rage TM and his hoity-toity restaurant that has all these fancy words and sauces and all this other crap. So they're on there and they're talking about all these fancy ingredients and I'm like, I would love to do a redneck just cooking show. Like
So,
where
are you gonna be the next
you're
Dustin
picking up roadkill and cooking it, and just crazy, literal redneck cooking show, right? That would be cool.
Okay.
You could be
So,
like
like,
Justin Wilson and go off in a story halfway in the middle of it. And
Oh, he would. He
Could
wouldn't
be.
get past
Could
the ingredients in this show. It'd have to be a 3-hour show for him to actually get something done.
Well, I would want to be more of the host or the how all the cooking shows have like their judges, or they've got the person of expertise. So I would.
you're doing a battle. I was thinking like an old school, like
No,
Justin
I'm not
Wilson
talking about.
Cajun cooking
I'm not
show.
talking about like I'm
Yeah.
Emerald and I'm cooking. I'm talking about bring other people in, bring these hoity-toity chefs on, right?
He said,
And make
"Here's
them
all the shit."
make them cook freaking possum and sweet taters, man. Make them cook coon and dumplings, right?
Coon and
Let's
dumplings.
see how fancy they really are, Jack.
Oh my God.
Wouldn't you love to see like Gordon Ramsay cook possum and sweet taters, man, or poke salad? Really, really, yeah.
Wow.
Well, yeah, I don't even know where to go from that. I'd like to do a game show of some sort. I don't know. I think it'd be fun. You know what I really like to do? It's my demented mind working here. I'd like to be like the director of like the Hunger Games. And I just want to be the person that fucks with them, like puts fires here, and I just want to be like the overlord over Hunger Games, and
We
like
used
other
to do like a
people-
real life Hunger Games, though.
That's what I'm saying, like
Oh,
a real
man.
life Hunger Games. But I want to be the person like just fucking with them. Like,
Have
hey,
you
let's
ever
do this.
did you ever watch the movie Condemned?
Condemned. What's that one? I can't
With
remember.
Stone Cold Steve Austin's in it, and a couple of other ones,
No.
where they
No.
drop all like the serial killers, the worst of the worst, into this island, and they've got weapons hidden around and all this other
Yeah,
stuff, and
that
whoever
sounds
makes it out wins their freedom.
It's kind of like what was that book? Lord of the Flies, kind of like that.
Sort of, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, that actually sounds good. Condemned. I have to look that one up. I'm all for that. JMA says, if you could, would I go back in the Corps? Yeah, I would. I mean, I'm 45 years old. They wouldn't want me now, but I would. There's something that a lot of people don't know about. These guys probably do. There's a lot of people don't know about. When I got out of the Marine Corps, I had a very, very bitter taste for the Marine Corps. It took me almost till probably September 11th to happen for me to go back in. A lot of shit there towards the end, and you hear about this in the military, but there's a lot of bullshit in politics and military stuff, and I really had a bad taste in my mouth when I first got out. So if you would have asked me that a year after I got out, I said, hell no. But now, I mean, yeah, once September 11th hit, I was actually, most definitely I would. But I think most people would say that, I don't know about JMA, you can answer out there. But when I first got out, no, there was no way. I had a bad taste in my mouth. That's a good one for all of us. I hate, other than your own, I hate my podcast, so I don't even listen to my podcast. But whose podcast do you like to listen to the most? Let's start with Clover. Who's one of your favorite podcasters out there?
I'm boring. The one I listen to the most is probably the one that the vast majority of people in the world listen to the most. Joe Rogan. Yeah.
Yeah, Rogan's good. Gary, what about you? You listen to podcasts at work or anything?
Not at work now. At night, funny, I have to have something on when I go to sleep. So
You do?
I usually listen.
You can go to sleep just fine when we're in off airs.
That's
Or
good.
when you're driving down the
Because I
highway.
listen, but I listen to Armed American Radio Daily Defense with Mark
Yep,
Walton.
that's a good one too. Yep.
I like that show.
Snob, what about you? Any podcasts that you like listening to?
And of course, Rogan. And I listen to the only gun podcast anymore I listen to is I listen to Gun Talk still as a podcast, Gun Talk Radio, and Michael Bain. I listen to him a lot. I like him.
Mine, Rogan, love Rogan. I think my other one that I listen to the most would be, it's called the Team Never Quit podcast. It's with Marcus Luttrell from Lone Survivor. He and his brother, another guy, they kind of rotate who's hosting it. But yeah, I would say the Team Never Quit, especially when Marcus is doing it. Because if you never heard, if you ever want to really honestly be inspired, not now, but when we're done here, go to YouTube and just search for Marcus Luttrell's speech. And if you've never heard Marcus talk, it's pretty amazing. And his podcasts are great. So I'd say Team Never Quit with Marcus Luttrell. It's really,
Can I throw one out there since I had the boring answer? So it's fairly new, but it's on Sundays, and Sunday is kind of those lull days because you got Gizzard early, and then it gets into other people later on in the evening. But you got kind of a dead time, and they fall right in that dead time, which is cool. Is Locked and Loaded Latinos.
Oh yeah. They've been doing it for a few months now. Great stuff.
Not very long, yeah, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, they are good. Rich was, I'm behind, so I got to catch it. But Rich was talking about nobody can get through on that phone number. No joke. I've got it pulled up right now. Last week when we were doing the giveaway, the reason why I had 143 missed calls, and that was all within what, a 10-minute time frame. So 143. That's why it was going all nuts. Hello, what the 3 missed? My bad, but it was going crazy. I had 143 people call last week during the
That's pretty awesome, though. I mean, that's the struggle. That's the struggle of a call-in contest, right? That's just part of the game.
And imagine if you're in Dallas when you get the 5th caller and there's 2 million people listening. You know,
right?
You're never gonna get in.
You know what's worse than anything? Being caller number 4 and they're looking for caller number 5.
Or as we found out last week, being the 5th caller and getting the answer wrong, like Patriot did.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. He actually was the 5th caller, got the answer wrong, so we had to go to the next one, which was, interesting. They're saying Boomer Sooner. Okay, so I'm trying to catch up, guys. Rich White says, do you want G23 banned now or later? Later.
I thought I already deleted G23's Boomer Sooner message. I should have timed him out, I guess.
Still left. Well, it shows up on my StreamYard side. It might have been deleted over on the YouTube.
Okay.
I just skipped over. I wasn't even going to mention it because Jacobs up there says he's a UT grad, University of Toledo. Okay. Yeah, that looks like you did. You said your hand slipped. That's pretty funny. All right, I'm trying to catch up, guys.
Oh, crap. I forgot my story. Dang it.
Oh, go for it. Yeah, if you've got a story while I'm doing
I forgot my story that my hand slipped. I admitted to deleting it. I just forgot that it's horrible.
I'm trying to see. Is there anything down there that people have seen?
Guns and Barbecue's got a good one at the very end of the chat.
Okay, let me get down there real quick.
Or I can read it or whatever.
Well, you don't even need to answer that because everybody already knows your answer.
Yeah, I'll let the chat answer for me. I think they probably figure that one out.
Okay. All right. So I got, what is everyone's absolute favorite caliber? Chambered and rifle, pistol, no difference. I know what Clover's is, and I think everyone knows what mine is. But let's start with Snob. What's your favorite caliber?
That's tough. I'm going to dodge the normal
and
not go with 9mm. I'm going to go with 22-250.
Whoa, he getting all fancy schmancy. He really is the gun snob.
I was not expecting that.
Well, I figure everyone's going to say 9mm, so I had to go with something different.
I wouldn't say 9mm.
Well, I knew what you were going to say, but you don't count because everybody knows what you're going to say.
Yeah, his is going to be, go ahead, Clover. Tell him the 22 LR. I'm sorry.
Buck out there knows. Buck's got it. He's telling everybody for me. It's all good.
I figured he was going to say something like 300 Winchester short mag or some oddball.
He would.
Just Weatherby, just to throw us off.
I mean, I do like a 300 Weatherby, and I do like that, but favorite, has to coincide with the most that you shoot, probably, and without a doubt, good Lord, I've probably fired
like black powder.
I've probably fired millions of 22 long rifle in my lifetime at this point, so it's hard to dispute that.
Yeah, Gary, what about you?
Well, and it's a changing story as I progress through my experience with firearms. But this year, given what's available and everything else, and seeing as I've bought 3 firearms chambered in this caliber, I'd have to go with 22 WMR right now. I'm having a lot of fun with that.
There you go.
I'm just going to up Clover just a little bit. I'll up your 22 LR with a 22 Magnum.
What they cost? I ain't got a problem with it, bro.
All right, so let's take this one to another level because we can go caliber talk all day long. This was Caliber Corner, Saturday mornings, 8:00. So do that. A caliber, and Clover, you might not be able to answer this because you've got everything under the sun, but let's say your favorite caliber that you wish you had.
That's easy.
So, then go ahead. You can answer first.
I don't have a 6.5 Creed, bro. Seriously.
Oh yeah, no kidding. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I don't have a 6.5 Creed, and I really like the 6.5 Creed. I haven't run across a deal on I'm a opportunistic buyer. Everybody knows that, and so I just haven't fell into a deal on anything in 6.5 Creed yet. But I'm looking forward to the day that happens.
Yeah, Snob. What about you? If there's a caliber out there that you wish you owned a firearm in, what would it be, or what we like if you had a dream gun, what would that be chambered in?
I don't know about a dream gun, but the caliber I wish I owned that I've shot a little and keep saying I'm going to spend the money and buy one is just a stupid Deagle in 50 Action Express. And I don't even know why I want it. I just want one.
I would have to go 44 Magnum with a Deagle. Golly, the 44. I don't know if anybody's ever shot the 44 Magnum in a Deagle, but oh my God, it's just.
Well, 58 is pretty badass.
It was almost, but that 44 is almost made. If you ever shot a lot of 44 revolvers and then you shoot the 44 in the Deagle, it's almost made for that.
I wouldn't mind having a 357 Deagle. That thing would be like shooting a 22.
Right, it is. Yeah.
In that frame, yeah. In that frame, it definitely would be. Gary, what about you? Is there a caliber out there that you wish you had?
357. I don't have one.
Henry or Mag?
Henry. Or no, Mag.
You just bought a 357 barrel.
That's true.
That's true. That's 357. That's a little different.
Now that's a. So do you have a 357 SIG, or you just have a barrel to take out of one of your 40s?
I have a Glock 31 barrel that I bought to put in my Glock 22.
So have you looked into any 357s, and if so, which ones have you got your eyes on?
Oh, my buddies, shall I say, have been pointing me towards some revolvers that they would like me to look at.
Well, obviously,
someday,
but what?
So. I don't know. Let's see.
Well, GP100.
Most of them are Rugers. GP100. Yeah, that's the one I hear most often. That I need to buy a GP100.
So, yeah, that's what I was getting at. Is let's throw some options out there for you, or whatever. If you're folks out there in the chat or whatever. I think you'd get a kick and have a lot of fun with something like a Blackhawk. When you said Ruger, I was hoping there for a second that's what you were gonna say.
Well, since I don't have one, I don't really know that much about them to know what I want, but as my friends tend to do, they're guiding me towards certain things. But in the end, I'll make my decision. They like to think they make their minds up for me. But
Rich is saying you should get a 627.
I don't have a problem with that. I will.
And Rod out there saying a 586.
686 Deluxe is what you need.
We're a 686 Performance. Yeah.
Oh, 686 Performance Centers are so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
You shot one of those at range. Was it last year or 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was every year. I'll shoot those.
Oh my God!
It was year before last, because I don't think Smith and Wesson was there last year.
That's right. They weren't there last year. That's right. Rich says Clover in the Wild West would still be the guy carrying a 44 Henry after the advent of center fire. I don't know if he'd carry a Henry, but he would definitely. He would definitely be carrying a lever rifle for sure.
Well, the 44 Henry's a rimfire 44. That's what he was getting at, I think.
Well, I thought it was like a Henry lever.
Well, I mean that too, but 44 Henry is a rimfire 44 caliber cartridge.
Okay, I would see you carrying definitely revolver and.
I like a lever.
Would you a lever action? Let's say you were back in 1890s. What would have been your lever action of choice back then? You think?
Probably
your lever action.
my right. probably back then, and I'm a big Marlin fan. I really am. Marlins went to pot the last few decades. But probably back then, probably a Henry. Rich probably has it right with that. Probably a Henry.
Yeah. Looks like a 17 HMR pistol or rifle.
Oh, yeah.
Joe there says an old Model 65.
Well, 65 is a good one. I have a couple.
I think if I had to go the caliber that I don't own that I would love to have, another which that I'd love to have, 6.5 Creed's at the top of that list probably, but I would love one day, I think Clover knows this, one day I will, not that I would ever need it or have a use or even a place to shoot it. One day I will own a McMillan 338 Lapua. One day, I don't know why I would have it. I don't know where I'd shoot it, but I will own a McMillan 338 Lapua one.
You got a backyard, don't you? Shoot right out there.
All right.
Yeah, my acre and a half is not going to hold that shit.
Yeah, it'll be fine. You can do anything once.
That's right, once.
Now, Steven out there saying that he went to 4 gun shops today, and all that was left is the good guns. That's what he says.
See, that's the kind of gun shop that you'd love to go to right now, wouldn't it?
Well, that's what I was paraphrasing, of course, but that's the way I read that statement.
Yeah, of course. Southpaw, this is an interesting question. We'll run this through the room. What is the number one firearm you regret purchasing, if there is one?
Oh man.
Go ahead. Clover, do you need a time? We'll start.
I need a minute, definitely.
Oh, I don't need a minute.
All right, go ahead, Stomp.
I don't.
That stupid Mossberg. I don't even remember the model that looks like an AR. It's the little plastic piece of junk 22.
I thought you were going
I couldn't throw that thing away fast enough.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Probably only because he didn't buy the Altor, right?
That's true.
That is very true. No, the Altor is much better than that Mossberg piece of junk 22 thing. If I had to defend my life, I'd take the Altor over that piece of junk. I couldn't sell that fast enough.
Gary, what about you? Do you regret any purchases?
2 words: Taurus Spectrum.
Okay.
I don't
even know what
that
is. Taurus Spectrum. It must not have been very good. When did it come out?
A couple years ago. They're 380.
2010.
That looks like an old Bursa.
Are you serious? The Taurus is all curved looking and stuff?
Yeah, it looks like the rubber.
No, that was the curve. That was the Taurus curve.
Yeah, this one has like the rubber grips and stuff. It was still pretty curved though.
One that comes in 15 million color combinations.
Yeah, I don't even know what that. I mean, I just looked it up, but I don't remember that gun. So, all right, Clover, if you figured it out,
Dude, I'm gonna go with not applicable. I got to. I can't think of a single solitary. I don't regret because they're all bought for one reason or the other. I don't. Yeah, I can't think of anything. I legitimately can't think of anything.
I can't think of anything either. But I can tell you the one that I got rid of that I regret is the Model 10 for a couple of different reasons. Everyone knows this if you've been watching me for any time at all. The Model 10 was the first handgun that I got.
Yep.
And that's also the reason why I don't like revolvers at this point, because I learned how to shoot on a semi-auto, got this revolver, and just hated it. And to this day, I don't own a revolver. So I regret not giving it another chance, but I also regret getting rid of the first handgun I ever bought. Regardless if I liked it or not, I shouldn't have gotten rid of it.
Well, I think I've made amends, but years ago, my first rifle was the Model 60, of course, Marlin, and times got tough, whatever happened, and babies' diapers and formula or whatever came first, and I sold it, and it always eat at me, and so now I kind of collect them because of that. I'll never get that one back, so next best thing is to try to own every single one that was ever produced.
Yeah, and it's not like I can't go find me another Model 10. I mean, hell, they're all over, and they're I don't know about now, but normally they're pretty decently priced.
Yeah.
But it just having that one, and you made a good point a couple weeks ago. We were talking, I don't know if it was on air or on the phone call, but you said, what if I had bought that? I would have more appreciation for the Model 10 now than I would have 20 plus years ago or whatever. So
I think so.
And I think you're right. I probably would have had a lot more respect for what it is.
Model 10 has been around a long time. It is a fantastic proven revolver. It's kind of hard for anybody to dispute that. So, yeah, I think you'd have fun with one.
Yeah. What is your favorite gun movie actor, i.e., like Wick, Jason Bourne, Deadpool, Dirty Harry, etc.? Gary, favorite like gun, I guess character, we'll call gun shooting character.
Oh, how about the guy? And I don't remember his name on the movie, but it was, oh God, Gran Torino
You talking about,
with Eastwood.
you talking about Eastwood's character?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love it when he pulls out the finger gun and yeah, that's a great movie. Great movie.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah, that's just a wonderful. I mean, he is the most racist, bigoted person in that movie, and it's like you got to figure he hated saying some of those lines. Maybe he didn't. I don't know, but I would think that he would have hated, calling with zipper heads, and it was as bad as it got in that movie. Yeah, but a great movie. Clover, what about you? Any favorite gun shooting character?
I gotta go John Wayne, man.
Any John Wayne character in particular?
The Duke. Pretty much any of the westerns, honestly. But yeah,
sure. Yeah. Snob, what about you? Uh-oh. We might have lost Snob.
He's got to unmute first. He'll figure it out.
He might have stepped away.
He's a little.
No, I'm on the other screen. I was on another screen. I was looking at the chat. I was going to go with John Wayne, and I was going to go with Clint Eastwood. Both those got taken. So I'm doing Jake from Silverado.
Ooh, that is Costner's character, correct? Yeah.
Yeah,
it was Costner. That was a great movie.
No, Costner was great. Yeah,
Jake was Costner, and that was a great movie, and Costner played Jake perfectly. I thought Danny Glover played. I mean, everyone, even Jeff Goldblum was like the perfect asshole.
For Emmett. Wasn't he Emmett?
Yeah. What was his name? What's his name that played Emmett? What's his name? Emmett was. Emmett
was. Hold on, let me Google it.
Yeah, but the whole movie. If you like Western,
okay, so I want to interject because there's some fake news out there, man. Because Steven Elder says Tomb Raider, TNA plus dual Glocks for the win. The Tomb Raider I'm familiar with, totally get the TNA. I understand all of that, but that's H&Ks, baby. Those ain't Glocks. So maybe is there a new Tomb Raider that I don't know about that was Glocks?
I think that the latest Tomb Raider, who's a different girl, I think that it might have been Glocks. I don't know.
That would be a travesty.
Angelina was HK for sure.
That would be a travesty if they changed from to a Glock. I could get a lot if they changed to a Beretta. I can get a lot of different ones, an HK or something. I understand, but to jump away from that, ugh.
Yeah, Armed Ape took mine. I was going to say my favorite. I love John Wick, and I think everyone knows that. But my favorite gun shooting character, and it might be my favorite character, and how he didn't win an Oscar is beside me. But Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday in Tombstone, was about as good as it get. And I swear, I would love to find out. It was probably Tom Hanks or someone back in those days. But it's going to be very hard pressed for anyone to convince me that wasn't one of the best performances ever on screen. Was Val Kilmer's Doc Holliday. Phenomenal. Yep. Scott Glenn, he played Emmett. Scott Glenn.
Yeah.
Yep. I love Val Kilmer's Doc Holliday. Phenomenal.
There's so many good. You talk about, clips from movies and whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, every single scene he's in, there's a clip that's just.
He stole. I mean, and I don't think they ever anticipated him stealing the movie. I mean, it was a Kurt Russell movie, and it's going to be it is all about Kurt Russell and Wyatt Earp. But man, Val Kilmer was phenomenal. Let's see here. There was something up here I saw. I gotta go back up. Okay. What gun did you pass up buying that you regret not getting? Snob, we'll start with you. Any guns that you regret that you had a chance at getting that you passed up on?
Years ago, I was in the local gun shop in Chelsea / pawn shop and had a used Ruger M77 Hawkeye in 22 mag, stainless, laminated stock, had a Leupold scope on it. I can still see it was like it was yesterday, and they wanted like $550 for it.
Ooh.
And I didn't buy it. And I thought about it that night, and they were closed. It was on a Saturday, so they didn't open back up till Tuesday. And I went in there on Tuesday, and it sold that Saturday afternoon after I looked at it. And he just put it out that morning.
Yeah. Gary, what about you? Any regrets that you can think of?
Well, and this will probably underwhelm everybody out there, but when I was originally looking for my 1911, I had my eyes on a stainless 1911 that I saw at Academy. I was there on a Friday, and it was there. I decided not to buy it, changed my mind, went back on Saturday, and it was gone. I was so upset that I finally found a blued model that I bought and I still have today, but I really wanted that stainless one. And I've seen it 2 or 3 times since, almost bought it. And I don't know why I don't need 2 of them, but I want a stainless one. Dang it.
Yeah. Clover, can you narrow it down to a few of them that you regret?
I know. Well, there's one major that and I can say this one because it's very likely I will never get one of these ever in my entire life. There's things that I regret. Like a few weeks ago, I missed out on that CZ Rami, right? Man, one of those will probably pop up again, so forth and so on. But had an opportunity one time, 1874 Sharps and 45 110. For those that don't know, the Quigley Down Under rifle.
Quigley Down Under.
This was probably 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and I just could not swing. It was a good buy too. It was a great buy. And that thing's probably worth 3 times now what the guy wanted for it back then. And
I would have sold some kids.
Yeah. That one I will probably regret that the rest of my life because I'll never have another opportunity.
Oh, you can probably go on Gunbroker and find one.
Yeah, I'll never have the money.
Yeah,
for that, though.
For a lot of money.
Yeah.
Maybe a replica. Maybe you know what I'm saying. One of the other companies that build the replicas or whatever.
I'd be happy with a replica.
Yeah, I would be too. To be honest. Yeah.
For me, it was one that happened about a couple months ago. There was at the local gun shop. There was a Beretta M9A3 that was FDE, beautiful. Was in there, I was like, oh man, that was gorgeous. And a few days later when I was back in there, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go buy that. It was just gorgeous. I went in there and it was gone. And I told myself, you should have bought it 3 days ago. And it was right kind of at the height where people start buying shit, no matter what it was. Like, hey, you got a gun for sale. There was someone overpaid for that, no doubt. But they're not going to appreciate what that is. And I regret not buying it right then because it was a gorgeous gun, and I hadn't seen one in FDE. So I was like, that's the kind of like, oh, that's really, really pretty.
Was it the one that came in the ammo can case?
Yeah.
I saw that one. That is a good looking Beretta.
It is a gorgeous gun, and he wanted like $900, which isn't a terrible price, but I saw it like, damn it, that would have been nice. Let's see here. This is a fun one. So if you could spend $2,000 on a firearm, what would it be and why? Snob, you want to go first, or who wants to go first? You can think of how they'd spend $2,000 on a firearm. There you go.
I'm adding.
All right, so I've got 2 choices. I would go one of them. I can't decide between the 2.
Never mind.
But I'm going to choose one of 2 choices. One of them would be the HK SP5K. I think it's about $1,800, and it's the semi-auto version of an actual MP5. If an MP5 ever came available at under $2,000, I'd take it, but that ain't going to happen. But I would say like the HK SP5 is pretty damn cool. So I'd say that one, or it wouldn't cost $2,000, but I would be willing to spend $2,000 on it. And it's a gun that Clover has that he just dangles in front of me every now and then. There was a commemorative Beretta M9 with the Marine Corps logo on it. And if I had $2,000, I'd buy it from Clover's. I think he'd sell it to me for $2,000.
I probably would.
And it's probably only worth about $1,200, but I would be willing to spend $2,000 on it.
You know, the crazy thing about that pistol, and you know this, we talked about it a bunch of times.
Mm-hmm.
I think I bought it brand new. I think I gave like $450 for it. And as far as what it's actually worth, it's worth really, about what any M9 is going to be. I would say probably $700 or $800 at the most.
$800, but I would say, yeah.
The fact that you can't find them, especially mine in unfired condition. I mean, yeah, it's one of them things that's subjective,
And how much is it worth to me? It's worth a hell of a lot more than $800,
Right.
Like I said, it doesn't cost that, but I'd be willing to pay $2,000 for it,
Yeah.
If I just had $2,000 sitting around that,
Sure.
I would say I can go buy 2 or 3 guns. I'd probably go Clover, send that to me because here's $2,000. It's a beautiful gun.
Well, then that would allow me to spend my $2,000, right? So
that's right. So if I gave you $2,000 for your Beretta M9, what would you then go buy?
So we talked about that.
Hold up. He would go to the gun show and he'd say, do you take PayPal? I got some money in PayPal from Go.
Yeah, I would do that. I have done that. So yeah.
This is true.
I might be the only guy on the planet that has ever paid for a gun at a gun show with PayPal. I might actually be the only one ever to do that. I don't know, but I'm just saying.
I'm surprised they took it, honestly.
Yeah. Well, if it hadn't been a younger guy, I wouldn't even asked.
Yeah.
Right. But that was an interesting way to purchase a gun. That's for sure.
No doubt about it. How would you spend the $2,000?
Talked about that 1874, right? I could get into something like probably maybe a Cimarron or something like that. Certainly can't get into the real deal for that money. So knowing that, another one that has eluded me for years is the M1A.
Ooh, M1. Yeah, you can find them for $2,000. Yeah.
Yeah, you can get one for under $2,000. I've seen them. I know where there's a national match, an M1A national match. The guy wants $1,800 for. So.
Yeah, that would be a good one. I hadn't thought about that. That would be a good one. Yeah. Gary, what about you? $2,000. What would it be?
Well, I've been sitting here thinking about it, and of course, Snob knows, and Snob makes fun of me for this all the time, but I try to always look for the best deal, and so I don't have my sights on expensive firearms, but if I was to do that, it would probably be a nicer 1911 than what I have right now. Something, a reputable brand like it. Yeah, something like that. Something really pretty and really nice. And then I go get it all dirty.
Well, I tell you what you could do. You could go get a custom Cerakote job on I don't know. Is it Cosint? Is that how they want to say it? Is Cosint? I think those are like $1,600, but you could get like the Gizzard Gary logo on Cosint. I think it's like Cosint or whatever, but that'd be kind of cool.
Well, there you go. Yeah, that's not a bad idea, but something like that.
I hear you. Oh God, this is gonna be like picking from children. Absolute favorite gun that you currently own. Holy hell. Snob, you want to go ahead with the Altor?
Well, I'm going to go ahead with my last one because I got skipped over, but
Oh, did it really?
Oh,
my bad. Okay, so answer two of them.
Yeah, well, I said I was thinking about it, but then the gun I keep looking for every day is a 1076, and I don't know why I'd be willing to spend $2,000 on it, but if I got free $2,000, I would love to have a really good condition 1076 and a few mags because those mags are $100 a piece, so that'll take up the rest of it.
What 1076 is?
3rd Gen Smith 10 millimeter. It's the FBI model with a decocker on the side like a SIG.
Model number. Okay, yeah. I know what you're talking about. I didn't know the name of it. Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
They're about $1,700 on a good day, which is way too much.
Well, yeah, but if you've got $2,000 for free, then that's what that was for. So if you could figure out the absolute gun that you currently own, what's your favorite gun? There's a rod out there know this. So you can blame Ron for asking you how to choose between children.
Yeah, that's tough.
It is.
It'll be between my 94 and my CHP gun. Because all the rest, most of the rest of them
Man,
are
you
just
always bring
guns.
that CHP. That must be one hell of a gun.
I love the CHP gun. It's a great shooter. It's just a great
That's
gun.
the 40, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably go with the CHP gun. But
Yeah.
it's a close tie between it and the 94.
Yeah. Gary, what about you? If currently owned, what's your favorite currently owned gun?
Well, I do love my CHP gun, but my favorite, I've been sitting here thinking about it, and it's not even a very expensive gun, but it brings back a lot of memories of the weekend that I and my buddies, they helped me pick it out, put it together. Some of them donated parts and everything else. It'd have to be my AR that I got last year.
After the fiasco of the barrel, you finally got it done.
Yep.
Bolt.
Yeah, but I was so proud when that thing finally ran and everything. I just love it, and every time I look at it, it reminds me of how much trouble I had to go
and
through.
maybe that has a lot to do with your affection for it. It was not an easy process for you.
Nope, it wasn't.
Yeah. Clove, what about you? Currently owned, do you have a favorite?
God, no.
I know you can blame Rod for this.
So here's what I'm going to do. Here, I'm going to give you a favorite.
Okay.
Because this one definitely
category and say what's your favorite of this.
This one definitely tops the list. I won't even put it in the category. I'll just say this is the one that definitely at the top of the list. My Browning Buckmark carbine.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Not the pistol, the carbine. Pistols up there too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But the carbine. Yeah, it definitely tops the list. And that coincides with my favorite caliber being 22, so that lends that decision a little more legitimacy as well.
The only guy of the panel that actually owns a 50 BMG and he doesn't choose it. So, go figure.
Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad?
If you don't like it enough, I'll take it off.
It's too niche, man. It's just that's too niche. I could also say that Beretta. All right.
That's true.
So, but you just get too niche when you start talking about those. So when you ask me favorite, I think something that I utilize and enjoy often, right? I don't think of a safe, clean, collectible niche type item.
And he looks at that Buckmark carbine and says, "Oh, you are so beautiful."
Oh, it is.
Oh,
It's the heavy barrel target version.
Goofiest things ever.
Now the field model Buckmark carbine that doesn't have the heavy barrel, it's got the little thin pencil barrel and all that, is gross looking. But
maybe that's all I've ever seen. Then I'll have to Google.
The target version with a heavy barrel is freaking beautiful.
There you go.
It's weird. I will. You know what I like about it, honestly, and look them up out there. Don't look them up now, but go look up the Buckmark carbine. And one of the reasons I know why it appeals to me, I know this. My affection and love for Mandalorians and Boba Fett and all that kind of stuff. It's no secret there, right? That rifle.
The Mandalorian wasn't brought up for best gun shooting.
Well, that's also you know what? No, not really. That's futuristic. That's not realistic. I was thinking more line of realistic guns. But what was I? So looking at it, got it on the screen there. Does that not remind you of the E88 blaster or whatever, the Boba Fett blaster? Look at the buttstock and the pistol grip and all. I mean, other than having the big multi-barrel things and all on the front. It sort of looks like a Boba Fett.
And who the hell puts an EOTech on that shit? First of all?
What a waste! What a waste!
That's the first one that came out.
I know, but that is definitely. It looks like it's the Browning Buckmark that they just put a buttstock on and extended the barrel
and a barrel, and it's a different frame because they have to build the.
It looks like it though.
The buttstock. All the internals are the same, but the frame that has to be forged. That has to be built into in order for it to classify as a rifle. You can't just screw or attach a buttstock onto it. That's NFA rules. Lovely ATF, right?
A lovely ATF for you. Thank you very much.
I agree with Mario.
What did Mario say?
A puking face.
Oh.
Some people have no taste, man. That's okay. I still love him.
I think mine. most of the time I want to say that I've trained with that thing. I mean, that thing has been through hell and back with me. I love that thing, but I'm also going to say that, and people know, I've had more fun shooting this little 22 LR MP5 clone than anything I've ever shot. It's just a blast to shoot. And you guys know this. I've got a gun that's coming. It's supposed to be here tomorrow, maybe Thursday, but right now it's in Oklahoma City at the USPS thing. It left Oklahoma City at 5:30 the night, so it might be here tomorrow. But I haven't been like excited in a really long time about a firearm, like really like giddy. I've got a CZ P10S coming in, the subcompact, and I've never owned a CZ handgun before. I've owned a Scorpion, but not a handgun. I'm really excited about this thing because I've never been a big CZ fan, but I'm interested to see CZ's version of the polymer striker fired.
Did you get the optics ready version?
I did, yeah.
And
the only reason why I did that is I don't own a dot and I've never done it, but you know this, but I talked to you about it several times about which are good. If I was going to do that, that's why I went ahead and got with the optics ready, just because if I ever wanted to, it's ready to go. So I did get the optics ready just in case I wanted to try it at the Hollison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I did get the optics ready, the cuts on there, just in case I did decide to do it. But I've actually been really excited about that coming in, and I've got another couple other guns coming, but that one I'm actually excited, like giddy about, which I haven't been giddy in a long time, just because, I don't know why, but I am. I'm really excited about that. Let's see. I had a couple texts come in. I'm trying to catch back up. Is there anything out there that you guys?
I don't see anything since the last one there much.
Yeah, not that I see. Okay,
couple of people ripping on me because I didn't pick that 617.
Well, you have said recently that's one of your. Now that might be your
climbing
favorite.
the list. I haven't owned it long, and I will be honest about it. It is definitely climbing up the list quick. So, future top 5 videos, you're definitely going to see an appearance on some future top 5 videos with that one for sure.
Yeah. Screaming Skulls is the P10S is his current carry gun. Mario and everyone's saying I love it. That's what I've been. That's like I said. I've been doing research on it. And what I love about it is I got it at Primary Arms, and they had it for $4.99. It's one of those things you're just like, they actually have prices that aren't like price gouging, which is phenomenal. And they had it in stock. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to CZ coming in. I had a text from Jason. Jason says PSA is supposed to be having the Dagger come out for sale soon. What's everyone's thoughts about the Dagger? The Dagger, if it's what it was at SHOT Show, they're going to hit a home run. I mean, it's going to sell as many as they want to sell. It's a $350 Glock 19 basically.
Good luck getting one for a
while.
I
mean, it never comes in. I mean, it'll sell as many as they want to sell, which means however many they make, they will sell them.
Obnoxious is all set up to buy his on whatever day there. I forgot what day that he said.
Oh, is he really?
Oh yeah, he's going to try to get one. I said, you'll never get it. He's like, I know.
He can have my spot in the line.
Yeah,
they're going to sell out the second they hit.
It's a good gun. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Oh Lord, I wish I could I can't screen share this. I would pull it up on my other.
Southpaw says CZs are highly addictive, like Lay's chips. Can't just have just one. You know what we need to do? Favorite flavor of potato chip.
What?
Favorite flavor of potato chip.
Oh, favorite flavor of potato chip. All right, go for it. Since you brought it up, go for it.
Dude, Lay's did all them weird flavors. They may still be doing it. I don't know. I haven't, like I said, hadn't ate potato chips in forever. But they had a biscuits and gravy that, oh my God, was wonderful. So,
I saw it. I've never tried it.
Holy Moses, dude. That's the best potato chip ever.
I'm trying. All right, hold on. I'm going to share the screen here because I'm trying to get out of this. Hold on.
Why is doing that? Andy Caps hot fries.
Midnight Range TM sent a.
Those are good. The bacon cheddars are good too.
Yeah, they're all right.
So open in new tab. There we go. Now screen share this. Chrome tab. Here we go. And share. Midnight Rain says cereal for Clover. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Yeah, there it is.
Look at the cute little baby Yoda.
Look at the little baby Yoda. That's a cereal. So that might be.
That's a real cereal too, man. That's not something.
I think it might be. Yeah, it looks. I mean, it looks like it.
That looks legit.
Why wouldn't they? You know, why wouldn't they capitalize on Baby Yoda?
Not? So that looks like Kix with Baby Yoda marshmallows.
Could be. Could be.
That could be good, bro.
I'd eat it. It looks good.
Yeah.
So, what was your favorite potato chip flavor?
What, me?
Yeah.
Biscuits and gravy.
That's right. That's right. That was a weird one. Gary, what about you? Favorite potato chip flavor?
Let me go a little bit more mainstream.
Okay.
Sour cream and onion.
That's a good one. Snob.
Andy Caps hot fries.
Guy.
Nah, Andy Caps hot fries. I don't really eat chips really at all, hardly.
Yeah.
I'll eat those hot fries though.
Yeah, even when I wasn't on a diet, I didn't eat a whole lot of chips.
Like my son, if he gets a bag of chips and opens it, it don't matter if it's a family size. He'll sit there and eat the whole dang bag. Of course, he's 15 and
sure, and can do that.
Yeah,
yeah.
If I ate that whole bag, I'd look like me.
So like the potato chip, like Lay's and all that, I would say salt and vinegar. Love salt and vinegar, but my favorite chip is probably like ranch Doritos. I could really go with some ranch Doritos or some cheese puffs. Does those count as chips?
Oh God, cheesy poofs, yeah, any kind of cheesy poof, just about, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if
they just melt in your mouth.
Oh my God!
I mean, you're talking about the puffy. You're not like crunchy Cheetos.
Puff, yeah,
you're talking about
no, Cheetos, like the big old, like you can buy the big old jar of puffs. Oh,
yeah, they got the ball. They got the ball kind. They've got the whatever the,
the ball. I like the ball kind, you know,
or even the what do they got? The paws and claws or something?
Yeah, they've got one that looks like the what do you call it? Like the honeycomb shape. They've got
something
some of
like
those.
that. Yeah. I would agree. Can't go wrong with those.
But I would say if I could, like when you go on a road trip, it's either the ranch Doritos or the cheese puffs. Or I can just pop those pups all day long. Let's see here. I got another one. Oh God, this could take us down the road. I wish. Once again, if you're going to send a text, please leave the name because I don't know who to blame. And maybe they did this on purpose because they knew that it would not like this. I love the question. It could take us 3 hours to answer this question. So whoever it was, thank you. Favorite band / song?
There's no way. No way. No way.
I probably could. Probably could. As a matter of fact, my wife and I were talking about I was listening to a song last night and she goes, "That's your favorite song, isn't it?" I said, "It probably is." I can list my top 3 songs for sure. I don't know if you and all that.
So they said band, so that narrows it down.
So not artist. So it is going to have to be a band, not a solo artist.
And they said song, so that narrows it down to an individual song, not just my favorite band, because you can have your favorite band, but they may not have.
I think they're asking what's your favorite band, and then a separate question, favorite song.
Holy Moses, good Lord.
Right?
Okay,
separate from the favorite band.
Okay, well,
do you want to start out, or anybody want to start out? I will.
I'm going to throw out. It'll be the same. I'm going to give the same type of caveated answer that I did with the gun, and I'm going to say that. This certainly tops the list. 5 Finger Death Punch, Wrong Side of Heaven.
Okay.
That's an acceptable answer. That's a good one.
I can take that. And honestly, God, I hadn't even really listened to Five Finger Death Punch until about a year ago. And I want to say I was driving back from Indy, from NRA, and I was doing a live stream. And I was like, all right, guys, I was just in the car, had it going. We were driving home and going live and all that. I said, all right, give me some good music to listen to on the road. Everyone says Five Finger Death Punch. I was like, okay. So I went to like my mule Spotify or whatever, and I did, and it was good stuff, really good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Snob, what about you? Or Gary? I think I saw you on mute. Do you have one?
Well, I got a couple. I mean, you talk about old stuff from when I was young,
Lord,
which was many
did
years.
they have music back then?
Yeah, we're not talking about like
Gary's going to bring up the Statler brothers or something here on this.
No.
Senior.
No, I'm not country.
He was after he rode with me to Vegas.
Maybe Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys, right, Gary?
I've got a band I've seen in concert 6 times, Kansas.
Well,
And Carry On Wayward Son. But I also love Red Hot Chili Peppers, just about anything.
Peppers are my jam. Love the Peppers. Almost went to the Peppers last year. They were in concert. Yeah, love them. Snow, what about you?
Well, I would have to go with favorite song. Probably all-time favorite song is Shades of Grey.
That's a good one.
But it's not really Cross Canadian Ragweed because it was Robert O'Keen, Jason Boland, and Cody Canada. So I don't know how you put those 3 together. They're a band clearly together.
It's more than one person, so yeah, it's band. Yeah. Man, golly. I really I can give you 3. My favorite bands: Beatles, Pink Floyd, and the Beach Boys, for sure. If I had to choose one, I'd say the Beatles, my all-time favorite band. Favorite song, I can give you my good Lord. My all-time favorite song is Sound of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel.
Oh,
it's a great song, and if you've never heard the Disturbed version of it,
amazing!
It's a phenomenal,
amazing. That one's up there too.
And the sad thing is like I said, Sound of Silence with Simon and Garfunkel is my favorite all-time song, but I could listen to the Disturbed version just as much as I could the original, and not have any problems with it.
I can almost. That's such a good song.
It is
that. And it says a lot about Simon and Garfunkel and everything else. That's such a good song that I have literally listened to countless covers on YouTube, and I'll listen to every one of them. It's such a good song that it doesn't really matter how they interpret it. It's still an amazing song.
Mm-hmm. That's why my wife last night. I every now and then I'll just kind of get on YouTube and find a song that I wanted to hear, and then at that point just kind of let YouTube kind of just take us down that rabbit hole. And eventually it came down to Sound of Silence, and it was the Disturbed version. I was like, oh, beautiful. And then like the next up were like all these different covers of it. And I just kind of went down that rabbit hole. And I probably listened last night, probably 7 or 8 of them of just random people, even just like nobody's like in their, just got the guitar, and they're beautiful renditions of them, really are. 223 DMR says Comfortably Numb. Comfortably Numb's up there. My top 3 songs are gonna be Sound of Silence, another Pink Floyd song, but my favorite Pink Floyd song is Wish You Were Here.
That was our class song.
Wish
You Were Here was our class song. That's my favorite.
Was it? Too. Yeah, that's probably my number 2, and my number 3 song would probably be God Only Knows by the Beach Boys. Phenomenal song. That's a great one as well. But yeah, I mean,
Beach Boys fan.
Huh?
I said you kind of look like a Beach Boys fan.
Well, I my dad was a huge Beach Boy. I've actually seen the Beach Boys probably 10, 12 times, and I love them. This is back in the 80s when they were still touring. But I love the Beach Boys. There's something about the Beach Boys that it's hard to listen to them during the wintertime. I'm not going to lie, but if it's summertime at all, I mean, and you can't throw Beach Boy. Even if I'm just listening to the radio and a Beach Boy song comes on the radio during the summertime, you're just like, oh hell, let's go. It just feels like summer. It has been for my whole life because every time we go to the lake growing up, my dad always put the Beach Boys on. So it's just one of those. It's a summertime jam for me. Someone says you give love a bad name. The fact that you have got anything Bon Jovi as a favorite worries me about you, bro. Just saying. Yeah, it's an our day brings us the Beatles are your favorite band, but don't crack your top 3 in songs. It's just because there are so many songs. The catalog of the Beatles, I could literally listen to the Beatles nonstop and be a happy man, but there's not like that one song. Probably Here Comes the Sun comes to mind.
Well, Rich out there was talking about Pink Floyd, and he was talking about the A side and the B side, and he was like something about, what did he say? The whole B side or something is what he said. Does that count? And I said, yeah. If you understand what the A side and B side is, totally counts, because there's bands that are that way with me. It's like I'll listen to it all. It doesn't matter.
No doubt. I The Wall, I love The Wall, but I would still say like the greatest album of all time, in my opinion, for a band is Dark Side of the Moon. I could listen to Dark Side of the Moon all day, every day. And it's just, it's wonderful music. So, and I know that people think of Pink Floyd as this psychedelic rock, but if you've never really listened to Pink Floyd, David Gilmour is truly one of the best guitarists ever. I'll tell you what's quickly becoming one of my favorite songs ever. And everyone knows, if you know me, I'm a big Chris Cornell fan. He died, but if you've never heard Chris Cornell's version of Nothing Compares to You, people will never understand how beautifully that song is supposed to sound, and his voice in that. Just go to YouTube sometime and play and search for Chris Cornell, Nothing Compares to You, and I'll just say you're welcome. It's one of the most beautiful. I'd play it now, but I don't, copyright strike, so I don't really. I guess this isn't monetized anyway, so I don't know if it matters or not. But no, it's gorgeous. Go check out Chris Cornell's Nothing Compares to You, and it's Prince wrote Nothing Compares to You, but it was made famous by Sinead O'Connor. But he's doing an acoustic in a studio, a radio studio, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, Chris Cornell's awesome.
Yeah, and he had one of those voices where the greatest thing that I ever heard. They did like a thing when he died, and Jack Black was kind of hosting it, and the coolest thing that they said about Cornell was he said he was such a good singer that like every now and then like he hit a note that like wasn't a real note, like it didn't exist before, but it sounded so good. You're like, is that like between two notes? But he kind of would go off into that off like C sharp, like weird ass note or something, but he made it sound so good. And Chris Cornell was one of my favorite singers of all time. I would say him and like Weird Dude as well. I guess they both died early. I don't know if that's weird, but Jim Morrison, as far as voices, Jim Morrison had as good of a voice as anyone that's ever sung. So I guess I'm a voice guy when it comes to that. But then again, I love Dylan, and he has like the worst voice ever. So go figure that too.
Great songwriter though.
Fantastic songwriter. And what I love about Bob Dylan is if you didn't know that he was a singer and you just came across a bunch of his lyrics, he could have been one of the greatest poets ever as well.
Oh yeah,
so,
definitely.
That's why I hate the music questions.
Music, you'll go for hours on music.
Honcho's out there talking about Boxcar Willie.
Nice.
Boxcar Willie.
Temple of the Kid in Branson.
Yeah, Temple of Dog was a mixture of Soundgarden and Pearl Jam. So Temple of Dog was really good. Don Williams had some great songs. He had a couple great songs. I'd say who's one that I really liked. He's a solo guy, but Gordon Lightfoot. Gordon Lightfoot had some cool songs. What was that? The Wreckage of the Edmund Fitzgerald. That's a great song.
Dude, that's such a long.
Oh yeah,
God,
it's a great song though. But yeah, I was never a Rush guy. Any you guys Rush fans? I never got into Rush.
Yep.
Not so
Yeah.
much. I appreciate
I
appreciate the drums with Rush, but that's about it.
Sure. Yeah. I play the drums, so I mean, but yeah.
I'm not a Rush fan.
I don't dislike them. I just never saw the why. Buck says, "Have you heard Sound of Silence put on a 12-string?" I don't think I have.
I've heard it.
Interesting.
I've heard it, dude. I've heard it literally because that's what I was talking about getting lost on YouTube with the Sound of Silence. I've heard it played on like didgeridoos and old ancient freaking instruments and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, you can really go down a rabbit hole listening to people play it on all kinds. There's one Chinese chick that does it, and she's got some or let me back up because that's racist. Some type of an Asian, Oriental, whatever, right?
Not all Chinese.
I don't know that it's Chinese, but over there in that region, right? And instruments, there's 3 different stringed instruments that almost look like big, huge harpsichords or something that she does it on. And it's like, wow, this is insane.
Yeah, apparently Snob's a big closet fan of Joe Exotic's music.
Ooh, Primus. I love My Name is Mud. And the Gun Cleaners, you're totally wrong. Johnny Cash Hurt was his worst.
I always thought it was Primus, but is it called Primus?
It's probably, I don't know. I pronounce everything wrong. Why would you listen to me on pronunciation?
Yeah, you're right.
I too am not a huge Johnny Cash Hurt fan. I get it at the time that he put it out, and
I honestly like Trent's version better. Honestly,
and a lot of the different attributes around it. I appreciate that. I get it, but yeah, I like the earlier Johnny Cash.
Yeah. One Piece at a Time, greatest Johnny Cash song.
Oh yeah, love it. Boy Named Sue's another good one.
One of my favorite song of Cash's actually wasn't his song. It was Chris Christopherson's, but Sunday Morning Coming Down is my favorite Cash.
Oh yeah, Sunday Morning Coming Down, great one. Cocaine Blues, another one.
Yeah, that's a great one. And as far as that's what we were calling what's it called? Shit.
I don't know.
What was the song you just said? You don't like the new one? No, Hurt. I like 9 Inch Nails. I don't know if it was 9 Inch Nails or was it Trent?
It was 9 Inch Nails.
I don't know which one we listened, but 9 Inch Nails, I love their version of it. It was wonderful. Matter of fact, I think I heard that version before the Cash, and I think I remember thinking, did Cash, was it a Trent Reznor song or was it a Johnny Cash song first? I thought it was a 9 Inch Nails song.
It was a Trent Reznor song.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Because I remember saying, how did Cash hear this song? Because I remember hearing it from 9 Inch Nails first. I love the song.
But they all bowed down to his version. That's for sure.
Well, he was almost dying. I mean, it was his last song I think he released. So I think that was probably why. Rob Zombie, I never got into big wrongs. I mean, not that I dislike him. Zombie, like Butthole Surfers and all that kind of genre, I never really did like.
Zombie is a really strange artist, and I appreciate Zombie for a lot of the artistic flair and value.
I'm just not a big fan.
We talked about and I don't watch his gore flicks and stuff like that. I don't watch them, but I mean,
I've heard that there's a huge following.
I've seen clips and stuff, and no, I mean, it's amazing the kind of the warped mind he has, and it's brilliant. Don't get me wrong. He was on Joe Rogan not too terribly long ago. I may be wrong, maybe
Rob Zombie was.
Yeah, and that was a really interesting. You really get some insight into his weirdness and kind of where it come from. But
yeah, one of my, I would say if I had to Chris Cornell, Jim Morrison, but I forgot probably my favorite voice of all time. I don't know, and you guys probably never heard of them, but and it's one of my favorite bands. They just weren't around that long, but he was stuck around as a solo. But the Smiths, and you've heard of Morrissey. I think Morrissey has one of the most beautiful voices. I could listen to the Smiths or his solo stuff for a long, long time. But I think Morrissey has just one of those voices that, you hear a certain voice and without a doubt, like that's Morrissey, and so I love his voice as well.
Kind of like the whole Dylan thing or the
you know it from the first word.
Alanis Morissette is one of those. It's an acquired taste, man. It really is.
I tell you what, and I don't know if you guys are interested in it or not. I don't know if you like him or not. And I'm not a huge fan, but I respect the music. And every now and then I feel like that chill kind of nostalgia, frame of mind. I watched a couple nights ago, and it's only a 2-episode thing. I think it's on Netflix, but a documentary on Sinatra.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a huge Sinatra fan, but I respect some of this. I like some of his songs. Cycles is I love Cycles. But they did a 2-part documentary. Like he basically had 2 different careers, and one of them was over this one, everyone was over this one. But Sinatra, the documentary Sinatra was really, really good. But I had forgotten how many just,
dude was a baller.
Yeah, he did special.
Yeah, but he was such a baller,
Yeah, he was. He was. And
crazy.
Yeah, you're right. Dean Martin had a better voice, but my favorite Western of all time was with Dean Martin. It was Rio Bravo with
it's a good one.
With John Wayne, you had Dean Martin and you had Ricky Nelson. And there's a scene there in Chance's, I guess, the sheriff's office, and they're bunkering in. Snob knows what I'm talking about, but you had Ricky Nelson on a guitar and Dean Martin on the harmonica, and the old dude, I can't remember what his name in real, but they sing this song, and it was, Dean Martin had a wonderful voice. It's really good.
Speaking of Sinatra, I see Joe K put Miley Cyrus Party in the USA.
Nice.
Ban him.
Now I will say, I back in the 90s, I was a big Billy Ray fan. I'm just gonna put that out.
Billy Ray had a lot of good. Billy Ray was
very talented. Very talented.
If Achy Breaky hadn't have got the cult following that it got, Billy Ray Cyrus is a huge star. The popularity of that one song completely crushed him. If you ever got any subsequent albums of his and actually listened to, again, A-side, B-side, got some fantastic songs that got no airplay because they wouldn't stop playing freaking Achy Breaky. If they would have quit playing that.
Achy Breaky is like my least favorite.
Yeah, I can't stand it. But he's got some great ones. I mean, when we talk about holidays that come up, like Memorial Day and stuff like that, Some Gave All kills me every time I hear it, man. It's amazing.
There's a song that I absolutely love the song, but I can't listen to it very often, and it's Tim McGraw did it live, and it's called If You're Reading This, and it is a beautiful song, but I just can't listen to it. I'll break down and cry. But it's a gorgeous song. There's some songs that you love, but you just can't listen to very much.
Oh, yeah. I'm that way with Private Malone, man. Private Malone hit me.
Oh, yeah. Riding with Private Malone.
Golly, man.
Yeah, that was a good song.
And a lot of people probably never even heard of that song or whatever, but that just crushed me,
that was David Ball, wasn't it?
Yes, David Ball. Yeah.
Yeah. Mario knows the Smith said Johnny Marr was one of the best. Johnny Marr was one of the best guitar players. No doubt. Him and Morrissey, man, I think to this very day they don't talk, which is sad. They changed a lot of what music was back in the early 80s. After that, there's a punk scene, and they took what the Sex Pistols and the Ramones, and which I love punk, they took what they did and kind of made it more mainstream, where they turned it into what was now people call like new age or whatever, but they created that genre basically with that new age sound, if you want to call it that.
I'll tell you else who has a heck of a voice. Kenny Rogers had.
Yeah, Kenny Rogers, great voice.
Oh yeah.
It's just there are times when it pisses me off when he's trying to do that, that little half breathing and all that. It's like stop. But yeah, great voice. He I can't remember. He sang a couple of Lionel Richie songs, correct? That Lionel Richie wrote.
Yeah.
Lionel Richie was a great songwriter. Had a great voice, but he was a great songwriter back in the day as well.
Yep. Now, Stephen Elder is talking about his grandmother liked Alabama. Talk about one of the greatest bands of all time. It's the country genre. So a lot of people don't think about it, but Alabama, without a doubt, one of the greatest bands of all time.
No doubt. Yeah. Matter of fact, I grew up in Dallas, but I didn't always listen to country. I love country now, but I didn't start listening to country when I was about 14 or 15. I think in high school. And I think I did that because this girl I was dating at the time liked country. But the first country CD that I bought was Alabama, and it was, I can't remember the name of the CD, but it had Dixieland Delight and all of them on there.
Man,
And to this day, Dixieland Delight is one of my favorite all-time songs. It's probably my favorite country song. But I love Alabama. I saw them in like 1991 or 92 in Dallas. And you know who opened up for them? Was John Anderson. This is before John Anderson. Just a swinging. And, you know, you had Straight Tequila Night, obviously Seminole Win. But, yeah, John Anderson opened up for Alabama. And I remember we were all like, damn, that dude's awesome. Like, we didn't know who he was. He was just the opening act, and we had no idea who he was. We're like, that dude's awesome. And then I think the next couple of years is when he had a couple albums that just went huge.
John Henderson had been around for a very long time.
He'd been around for a long time, but he wasn't like, he didn't have his own tour. Yeah, he didn't have his own tour.
A lot of his early stuff was great. I can remember working all summer long to buy my first CD player, which was a component system. You know, back in the day, you had your individual components. You know,
right.
It wasn't all in one or anything like that. And anyway, I forgot what it cost, but good Lord, it was expensive, several $100s. And I'm almost positive it wasn't the first, but one of the very first CDs that I ever purchased was Alabama, The Closer You Get album.
Okay, that's good. The very first CD that I ever bought.
I was afraid you were going to ask this.
I remember. Yeah, I am going to ask this, but I'll give you mine first. I'll give you time to think on it, all three of you.
Well, I know.
I remember the first CD I ever bought was oh shit. The name of the movie, it just left me. Holy cow. It was a soundtrack to Stand By Me, the Stand By Me soundtrack. And it was a great soundtrack, really was. I remember buying that. All right, Clover, do you remember the first CD you said Alabama was the first ever, or that was your first?
No, Alabama was at the top. It was probably within the top 5 that I purchased. So was Def Leppard Hysteria.
Hysteria was a good one. And I'm not a fan, but Hysteria was really good.
And I say that maybe I could be wrong. I don't even want to admit to one of the first one. The one I bought when I bought my CD, I bought the CD player and I bought a CD to go with it. Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet.
No, don't laugh.
That's nothing compared to here's mine.
Okay, picture yourself. Picture yourself.
It was a great album.
Yourself 86, 87.
Absolutely.
Right? Picture yourself in junior high in 86 to 87. You are one of the very first kids to ever get a CD player. And what albums were topping the chart at the time? I mean, it I apologize, but it was.
I'll tell you the first one that I actually saved money, and
it was also nearly $30
Right. No, I remember there's 2 albums, 2 CDs that I bought. I saved enough money that I actually bought myself, I should say. And I bought them the same time, and I had to take one of my buddy's older brother with us because they were both, you had to get, it had the parental thing that you had to be over 18 to buy or someone with us. So I took my buddy's brother, who was 18 at the time. Same night I bought, don't laugh, but I bought NWA Straight Outta Compton, and I bought Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses. So both of them have an adult. So I know my genres are weird. But he had an 18-year-old, so we took my buddy's brother. He said, "Yeah, we'll buy them." But those are the first thing I spent my own money on. I love those CDs. Gary, what about you? What's the first CD that you ever bought?
Well, I'm trying to think of that because unlike you young fellers,
you had 8-tracked it.
I was well into my 30s, so a lot of the CDs I bought were copies of stuff that I originally owned in 8-track, yes. And then I owned the vinyl, and I also owned a cassette copy. So just basically rebuilding the music collection. So I couldn't actually tell you which one was the first, to be honest. But it would have been something that I had owned in several other iterations before.
Yeah. Snow, what about you?
The first CD I ever bought myself was no doubt this one with spiderwebs on it. I don't remember the name of the CD.
Tragic Kingdom. Hell yeah.
Tragic
Great.
Kingdom. Yeah, that's it. It was the
Yeah.
orange disc.
Oh, dude, I'm all for some No Doubt.
I bought that because Gwen Stefani was like the hottest thing in the world, and whatever year that was.
I was stationed out at Pendleton, and they're from Long Beach in Orange County area. I think they were from Anaheim, but Sublime was from Long Beach. They're both from Orange County, but they played San Diego all the time. We went to go see Blink 182 back when they were a local San Diego band. We used to see them a lot, and but there was a concert that you had Sublime, Blink 182, No Doubt, and all that. This is before, like, they had songs on the radio, like they were getting big, but they weren't like the big dogs. Unfortunately, Bradley killed himself, but Sublime, like, they were a great band if you liked kind of a reggae rock. If you ever heard of Sublime, go look up Sublime. Great band. But yeah, I was a huge fan of not only Gwen Stefani, I'm still a huge fan of hers because, man, she's gorgeous. But yeah, No Doubt was awesome because I like ska. And it sounds crazy. I am a ska fan, and they started out as a ska band and turned into kind of a pop ska, if you want to call it that. Like some weird shit, man. Joel out there says, what are some of your guys' hobbies? And I know, Gary, you kind of already answered it, but I did not know this about you, but you want to start off?
Well, what I was talking about in the chat was genealogy. Yeah. It's something I've been doing for 20 years or better. But I really started getting into it the last 10. I've got, the Ancestry subscription. I also do Find a Grave. So I go out and take pictures of gravestones for people and stuff like that. Help people trace their history. And I just do it for fun. Started out with my own family. But I have helped people, people on gun channels, people at work. Last year, the most exciting thing I've ever done is a gal that, thanks to me doing 23andMe, I found out I was related to somebody at work I had no idea I was related to. And she asked me, she said, can you help me find my real father? She said, my mother never would tell me who my dad was. And she died when I was young, and I still don't know to this day. So I helped her find her birth father. Wow. She actually got to meet him about a month ago or so. So that was very rewarding for me.
Yeah.
So,
first of all, don't knock Air Supply. Just saying.
Yep, that's what I just said. If you had danced with the number of chicks I danced with back in the day to Air Supply, you would not knock Air Supply.
Yeah,
Air Supply was like the chick magnet music, dude.
You had a three different bands. You had Air Supply, you had REO Speedwagon, you had Christopher Cross.
Yep.
You had some bands back then that music came on. I don't care, man. The girls love that shit. So, yeah. Anyways, Snob, what about you? Some other hobbies that people might not know that you enjoy doing?
Hobbies.
What are those?
YouTube, work. No, we go to the lake. Probably go to the lake.
Is sleeping a hobby?
Yeah.
I enjoy that.
Sleeping's overrated. I don't do that, but going to the lake probably. Spend a lot of time at the lake in the summer, except for this year and the year before. But normally we do.
Yeah. Clove, what about you? Hobbies?
I don't know, man. I mean, my hobbies. Once upon a time, I went to work. And, what I'm doing was my hobby. Now I don't have that. This is so. I don't know. I don't know if the pipe tobacco would count as a hobby. I think it would, because
not the smoking side of it, but the connoisseur side of things. I guess, right?
I mean, I tried different tobaccos and things of that nature, right? So, like the connoisseur, like I really like this particular one, or hey, I want to try this particular blend and some things like that, right? I could very well smoke cheap stuff out of the pipe, and just to get my fix or whatever as far as the vice goes. So, in that sense, I guess sort of a hobby. And cooking to an extent with some stuff. I've done more cooking and stuff lately, and I like to just play around with things. To be honest with you, it's not that's why I would see some of it as a hobby, because it's not like I'm cooking a meal for the family. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I really want to try to make this, or I wonder what if you took this recipe and switched it up and did this with it. I wonder what would happen. That type of thing.
Yeah. Now, Stacy's out there saying that Snob likes a scrapbook. So just saying.
It's top secret.
Top secret. Not anymore.
No.
It's for me, it's something. It used to be shooting guns, honestly, and so kind of like probably everyone in this room. Yeah. We got into this YouTube thing because we enjoyed shooting guns at one point, and we started turning a camera on, and it became more than just a hobby. Obviously, I would say something that I'm terrible at, but I'm trying to get better at is I enjoy cooking. I've really done a lot.
I thought for sure he was going to say golf.
I don't play golf anymore. I can't physically. I can't. My back and knees are shot. But I used to love. I mean, I love golf, but it's a job now. It's golf is what the job is. So can it be a hobby and a job at the same time? I don't know. But I've enjoyed cooking. I'm not, like I said, I'm not very good. My wife's a phenomenal cook. So like when she makes something, I'll either stand over there and watch her, or she'll have me do it, with her, do this, do all that. But I've really enjoyed cooking. I wish I.
So she says, "Give me the milk out of the fridge."
Yeah, put this in the microwave for 3 minutes. That's my job. But I love cooking. I just wish I was better at it. That's kind of a hobby that I wish I was good at, but I do enjoy it for sure. Okay, Danzig. I haven't heard that. Danzig, was it Mother? That was the only Danzig song that I know was Mother, because they played on MTV back when MTV actually had videos.
I do remember that. And then I remembered MTV After Hours, or was it After Dark or After Hours, where they played music videos after midnight? Yeah. That was after they quit playing them during the day.
Now, Rich brings up a band that I think that everyone secretly knows who they are, or at least a song of theirs, but may not ever admit that they like the band. But Journey, first of all, Stephen Perry had a phenomenal voice, but they had a run there that they had about a 5-year run that was literally as good as anybody's run, a 5-year run ever. I mean, they really had some great music.
That was another chick magnet band, man.
Oh, yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Journey's at the same place for me as Rush is. Not very high up. I'll listen to their song if it comes on the radio and not change the station, but not a fan.
Yeah, same way as I don't think I own an album, or never did. But it's so weird that I listen to a lot of their music on YouTube, and I tell you what was amazing to me is there's a Filipino kid now that sings for them, and he is as good, if not better, than Stephen Perry was. And this guy has got a great voice. And I want to bring up another one. Don't knock him, but Adam Lambert singing with Queen. Adam Lambert can flat out sing, and he's hitting some notes that only Freddie Mercury could hit.
Queen is one of those that I can listen to the entire album on just about any of them.
Yeah, they were good. I was not a Queen fan growing up. I think that I became more of a. This is going to sound bad, but you obviously know
after Wayne's World.
After Wayne's World,
you're a post Wayne's World Queen. Yeah, a lot of people were.
And I knew Bohemian Rhapsody, you knew Crazy Little Thing Called Love, all of the songs, but I was like, man, this guy's actually got a really good voice. And when Wayne's World came out, I started listening to Queen, but that was when I was 17, somewhere in there. I didn't grow up as a Queen fan, but I obviously I love Queen. I respect the music they put out, and regardless of what you think of Freddie Mercury might be, I would say he or Mick Jagger are the top two frontmen performance-wise. I think he might be the best. I think Freddie Mercury was probably the greatest frontman for a live show that there ever lived, probably.
Yep.
Great. But yeah, it was just one of those that I was never a big Queen fan, but Headbangers Ball, man. Headbanger, you had shows back at MTV. You had Headbangers Ball, and then you had Yo MTV Raps. Both of them were great. Do y'all remember? We're all Gary's a little bit older, but other than that, we're all about the same. But Gary probably remembers. It was like every Saturday night at like midnight.
Midnight
It
special.
was like they had like a live concert from different. It was. I remember. I can't remember the name of it, but that was it. Midnight special, and I used to watch,
Yeah,
I would watch bands that I didn't
Jack.
know about, and I was like, "Oh, this is badass!" So you got to see a concert, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, that was great. I remember because we would stay up and we would watch Saturday Night Live, and then depending on if the band we liked the band, we either watched that or we would watch. There for a short time, if you guys remembered, American Gladiators. That came on after Saturday Night Live at midnight. So showing my age. Let's see here. Fat Bottom Girls.
Apparently, you can't say that either. YouTube held it. I had to approve Fat Bottom Girls.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Look up Mark Martel. He's
That's definitely, talking about that, right? Talking about, YouTube censoring or whatever. I mean, Fat Bottom Girls probably is not a song that you could get. I don't know if it plays on the radio anywhere. Let me know if somebody out there's heard it. But that's true with the whole body shaming thing. But one that's in my mix that in my truck right now that I can guarantee you would not get any airtime. It would be cancel cultured. Funky Cole Medina.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
In a heartbeat, man. And I love it, dude. It's on my mix right now. I love it.
I'd tell you a great song that probably couldn't play today would be Push It by Salt and Pepper. There's no way that plays today.
Yep.
It was this great, fun song, I remember there were some let's go like there were some great like party songs, like songs that you wouldn't listen to in the radio, but if you were a party, you would never, no one ever listened to it. But at a party, like everyone knew the words to it. So like, you fucker, you listen to it too. Like one of those was like the Black Crowes, when I was in our senior year where the Black Crowes came out and it was Hard to Handle came out. And I love the song, but you put that on at a party to this day, even my daughter, like, like everyone knows that song. It's a great party song. Like Hard to Handle by the Black Crowes. There was just some of those songs back in the day that, you look at it and say, man, that band was pretty good. Like, what was her name? Tesla. I never bought a Tesla album, but Tesla had a couple pretty damn good songs. You're just like, you hear those on the radio, like, damn, I didn't know that was Tesla, back in the day, I'm showing my age. Don Williams. What the hell are y'all talking about Don Williams for? No, Don Williams had some good stuff.
I mean, it's good. Conway Twitty's got to be the greatest country artist of all time, though. Sorry.
George Jones.
No, Conway Twitty. I love George Jones, but
I don't dislike George Jones, but I'm not. I
hate to tell you, but if you're gonna try to dispute King George, you got an uphill battle.
That's right.
George Jones,
I would say
Gary said that's right, but he doesn't know who King George is because I'm talking about George Strait.
George Strait.
Yeah.
Well, you're not wrong there. There's a good one too.
George Strait was wonderful.
Just look at the number one.
I had to pick Conway Twitty over George Jones. Honest to God, of like the 60s, 70s, and all that, my favorite kind of old timer country guy was probably Merle Haggard. I like Merle Haggard more than George Jones or
Merle Haggard's great.
Conway Twitty.
But Conway Twitty, I mean, that should be right up your wheelhouse, Ghost. You know why he's named Conway Twitty?
It is from Conway, or he drove through Conway, Arkansas.
Yeah. And Conway, Arkansas, and Twitty, Texas. So there you go.
So what?
And I love Conway Twitty, but I would say that Merle Haggard's probably. But I like Merle Haggard, but I like John. I mean, probably. Shit, I like. Golly.
What's
I like
your
Willie
favorite?
Nelson more than any of them. Probably.
Yeah, Willie Nelson's good. What's
Love
your favorite?
Well, Uncle Willie, yeah.
What's your favorite Merle Haggard?
Snowball Headed for Hell, whatever that. I can't think of the name of it. I'll come up with it in a second.
Are the good times really over?
Yeah, how the good times really over for good. Yeah.
No, what's that one? Shit, he did with
Okie from Muskogee? No.
Mama tried.
All I tried. So good.
I mean, those are all great, but
If we make it through December.
Oh, that was excellent.
it was with Willie. Was it Poncho and Lefty? or
Oh,
something?
Poncho and Lefty. Yeah.
Poncho and Lefty with Willie Nelson. Just once again, I love Willie Nelson.
I'll tell you that-
Mama Try is one of the best country songs ever written, but it's one of those you get overplayed. It's kind of like with Johnny Cash. Love Johnny Cash. But I swear to God, I can only hear Folsom Prison Blues so many times. You sit there and say, okay, I get it. But
Seven Spanish Angels. Willie and what's his name?
Oh, that's one of my favorites to sing.
Oh, you're talking about with
Ray Charles and
Ray Charles, yeah.
Yeah.
Sitting around the piano together singing it. Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know that my favorite Merle Haggard. I don't know that because it was kind of, in a way, it's before I was paying attention to the charts or anything like that. My favorite has always been Footlights. Does anybody?
I remember the song. I've heard of it. I know what you're talking about. I remember liking it, but not like anything crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if it was ever like a hit or anything of his. I've never looked it up.
I don't.
Anything with a Highwaymen though.
The Highwaymen. Love the Highwaymen. I
love Chris Christopherson too.
One of the best songwriters out there. Period.
Mm-hmm.
He's up there with Dylan. He really is.
People realize that Christopherson was the magic behind A Star Is Born in the 70s with Barbra Streisand. He played. But Chris Christopherson was great. Like I said, one of my favorite songs, my favorite Johnny Cash song is Sunday Morning Coming Down. That was a Christopherson song.
The Armed Ape out there says, what? No Janice fans in here? Do not say that. Do not say that in front of my wife.
Yeah. Love Janice. And once again, Janice is my favorite Janice song was a Chris Christopherson song, yep. Bobby McGee. Yep. Great song.
Yep.
No, it's there's and a lot of people don't realize that Waylon Jennings, who I think was great too.
Yep.
I don't implement the Merle Haggard and Willie Nelson. He was great, but But Waylon Jennings was a guitar player for Buddy Holly,
right,
and lost a bet, and he had to go slum it on the bus and was kicked off. They took his seat on the plane that Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, and Richie Valens died on, but he was a guitar player for.
Took his seat.
Was it Richie that took his seat? I knew someone took his seat, but.
Yep.
But yeah, Waylon was a guitar player for Buddy Holly back in the day.
He carried that around for a long time.
Buddy Holly had some great music.
Waylon carried it around for a long time too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Waylon's got a lot of good songs too.
Waylon's got a lot of good stuff.
Now, do y'all listen to Shooter, his son?
Oh yeah, I really like his 4th of July. I know that's his most famous one, but I really like that song.
He does pretty decent stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he does. I'll tell you my favorite. Oh, go ahead. Oh
no, I was just gonna say what's really neat is have you heard the Jesse Coulter and Waylon where they put it together in later years, the Out of the Rain?
No.
It's really good where he sings Out of the Rain with her or something.
Oh wow.
I guess he'd sing it too.
That would be good. I tell you who my and Gary's probably bored as hell. We're talking country music now, so my favorite.
I worked up before I had to listen.
He got 18 hours of it on the way to Vegas.
My favorite kind of like in the last probably 5 years is Chris Stapleton.
Somebody put that out there.
Man, Chris Stapleton's voice. How this guy was in Nashville forever writing songs for other people, and how no one heard this dude sing and say, you should get in the studio. He was like 40 before he ever got in the studio.
Millionaire is freaking amazing.
Oh my God. It's just the voices. I tell you, it's so. Do you guys ever watch? I do. Do you guys ever watch one of those YouTube reaction videos for music?
Oh yeah.
So there were these two guys, black guys in Vegas. And they got challenged by one of their viewers to listen to Chris Stapleton, and I want to say it was "Fly Away," maybe it might have been Tennessee Whiskey, but I'm not sure. It was one of his early songs that was really, really good. Fire Away, I think is what it was. But anyways, so they're like, okay, we had to do this. We got to listen to this country song. And like by the end of it, they're like buying CDs online. They're like, holy shit. Like, we don't like country, but I could listen to Chris Stapleton's voice. Like you could tell me, I want you to sing like this song, and it's like a Blondie song or it's whatever. And I could listen to Chris Stapleton sing. I love his voice. He and Jamie Johnson.
Yeah, Jamie Johnson. He was awesome in concert.
Yeah,
I didn't see either one in concert. I would love to see Jamie Johnson. In Color is probably one of my favorite in the last 20 years. One of my favorite country songs ever.
When we see him in concert, he sang "Will the Circle Be Unbroken" live.
Really? How'd that go?
Awesome.
Yeah.
He was great. He's one of my favorite. Him and Chris Ledoux are my two all-time favorite concerts.
I like Ledoux.
I've seen Ledoux the summer before he died, and I had tickets to go see him at Country Fever the year he died before he made it.
I've seen Ledoux more times than I could even count. He played the local rodeo here. Good Lord, like year in and year out. He was like a staple of course, he was the rodeo cowboy, right? But he I don't know how many times he played the.
Well, hell, he was probably
awesome guy.
rodeo.
I've met him multiple times and everything. I mean, amazing.
He walked out in the crowd and said, "Anybody got any Copenhagen?" and took a dip out of somebody's can before he sang Copenhagen.
Yep.
And then he rode the mechanical bull while he sang Sam's Bucket Machine.
Right. Well, I think the whole thing about him was he not like when he got started singing, he was actually a rodeo cowboy.
Mm-hmm. He was a saddle rider.
Yeah, he was actually an actual cowboy before he started singing. So
speaking of frontman or greatest showman of shows for country music, Chris Ledoux, hands down the greatest showman in concert, I think.
Garth Brooks gave him a real.
Yeah, I watched Garth at Driller Stadium in the rain in Tulsa.
Damn good.
Garth says I learned from Chris, though.
That's what I'm saying.
No. Chris Ledoux is his hero. I mean, he even says it in Much Too Young to Feel This Damn Old. He's like, all I got are Chris Ledoux tapes, but Garth took it to a whole nother level for sure. I'd say I've seen him twice now, and he's really, really good. Very entertaining, great voice, great guitar player. Brad Paisley puts on a great show.
Brad Paisley, amazing guitarist, dude.
Yeah,
amazing guitarist.
Oh yeah.
Matter of fact, if you guys get a chance, and not because it's what it is, but one of the coolest things you'll ever see is right when Game of Thrones ended. You can just put Game of Thrones guitar thing, and it is Brad Paisley. Tom Morello, which if you're not familiar with Tom Morello, he was a guitar player for Rage Against the Machine. Amazing guitar player. And you have the guy from Extreme, which is a great one. And then there was another one, I can't remember who it was. But they have these 4 or 5 amazing guitar players and the guy who wrote the Game of Thrones theme all on guitars, and they're all doing solos. But Brad Paisley is one of these, and it's a really, really cool thing. They all kind of do their rendition of Game of Thrones and all that. But yeah, Brad Paisley is a great guitar player. Great concert.
Another song that'll send chills down you, Whiskey Lullaby, him and Alison Krauss.
Alison Krauss, absolutely.
Anything from Alison Krauss.
Oh yeah.
Send chills down your spine.
Alison Krauss, Ricky Skaggs, some of that old bluegrass stuff is phenomenal.
Nighthawk says saw Alabama Dolly Parton and the Judge in one concert for Mother's Day a long time ago, and that reminds me, I actually seen 2 concerts.
Winona, baby. Winona got voice.
I actually went to 2 Judge concerts on their farewell tour. Amazing, both of them.
Yeah, Winona was great.
Winona was just they put on a great show.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who else was awesome, and that is Brooks and Dunn at Country Fever, which was like a big
concert.
Brooks and Dunn, one of the concerts I seen from the farewell tour for the Judge, Brooks and Dunn opened for them.
Yeah.
Well, you got, I don't know if Ghost did, but Clover and Gizzard both met Corey, my best friend. Anyways, his dad was an OHP trooper, and the year he died all of a sudden of a heart attack while he was working, but just all of a sudden died. Anyways, so Corey's stepbrother had the beer contract for Country Fever, and he got a hold of Brooks and Dunn, and they brought Corey's stepmom on stage.
Oh wow!
Whenever they sang "Believe" and held her up there and like had their arm around her, and it was just days after his dad died, maybe a week. Anyways, and sang "Believe" with her right up there on stage at this huge concert. It was so cool. And then they autographed a bunch of stuff for her, and it was just amazing what all they did.
Yeah, I never saw them in concert. I think that probably would have been a great concert. They're coming back, I heard.
Yeah, they got back together, I think.
Yeah. I tell you, there's a group. I don't want to call them a band because they're not really a band. They're a group of singers. But I love their voices and their harmonies are great. But Little Big Town, I'd like to go see them. I think they probably put on a pretty good show.
Oh yeah,
their harmonies are phenomenal. But I tell you the last time I went to go see Brad Paisley, oh hell, what's their names? It's a girl singer and the two brothers are her backup. Shit. Anyways, they were pretty good. I'd say the concert I went to, my last concert I went to was Green Day. Was that last year? They played, I'm not kidding. They played for 3.5 hours without stopping. It was one of the best concerts ever been, if not the best concert. They played for 3.5 hours nonstop. And actually, that's not a lot. That's a lot. They played for 2.5 hours nonstop. Then they go off stage for the encore and play for another hour for the encore. It was phenomenal. If you get a chance to go see Green Day, it's well worth it. Great concert. Damn, it's been almost 2 hours. So I see. We spent an hour on music, and I knew that was going to happen because I love music. And I could probably talk music. We should have our own music podcast. That'd be kind of a fun one. Good Lord. Because between all of us, we have so many. I know that I do. I think everyone else in this room is the same way. I literally will go from reggae to 1950s to, I mean, I listen to Nat King Cole. I mean, I love Nat King Cole, and people laugh about that, but go check out Nat King Cole. Phenomenal music. I listen to punk I listen to literally everything and love it. I at least like parts of every genre out there. Big reggae fan. I love reggae. Bob Marley is probably, I would say if I had to go with like my single, like solo artists, it'd be Bob Dylan and Bob Marley, 1 and 2. So I mean, I listen to everything, and so I listen to a lot of different kind of music, and it's all good. That's why my playlist is so big. I never have to worry about hearing the same song twice because it's all over the place.
Yeah, my Spotify playlist goes from Disturbed to Five Finger Death Punch to C.W. McCall, and
there you go.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's just,
I've even got some musicals in mind, some musicals numbers.
Yeah, I don't think I have that.
There's some pretty good musicals.
Yeah, I'm not like Oklahoma musical type stuff.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of Oklahoma, but like Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, there's quite a few musical numbers in that. That's amazing. That's my favorite musical by far.
I'm going to put one recommendation out there for everybody in the chat after this is over. Go look up Choctaw Bingo by Ray Wiley Hubbard, and then look up Snake Farm by Ray Wiley Hubbard. Those two are the greatest 2 songs ever. You'll hate me for it, and you'll totally disagree, but you should.
Is he from Texas?
He is.
Okay, so is Lake Ray Hubbard named after him?
No.
Maybe he's named after it.
Yeah.
I don't know how long Lake Ray Hubbard's always been around, so I didn't know how long it's been there. We used to go to Lake Ray Hubbard back when it was just a small lake that no one lived on. Now that place has just exploded for people. So we used to go to Lake Ray Hubbard all the time. When we wanted to get away from Lake Louisville and all that, where everyone was at, we'd go up there.
Lake Ray Hubbard was originally it was not named Lake Ray Hubbard. Ray Hubbard was a guy that was like part of the Dallas City Council or some kind of crap like that.
They named the lake after him.
And like when he passed away, yeah, it's something like that. Yeah.
Yep. All right, so we're going to start kind of sweeping the floor. So Gary, I want to let you plug your channel and anything that projects you might have going on, and I want everyone to go, if you're not already, go subscribe to Gizzard Gary. But Gary, what's going on?
Well, I'm due to put out a video this week, and I don't have one together yet, so I'm going to have to do it tomorrow since I got involved in this. This was the night I was going to get my video together. Well, I had better things to do, and that was to be on the Ghost Show. So other than that,
hours you're never going to get in your life.
Foul Territory every Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, and the Early Bird Chat every Sunday morning. That's at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, where everybody can be on the panel. So I appreciate everybody that watches my stuff, and thanks for the invite.
Yeah, had fun tonight, and go check them out. I really, it sounds weird, but Sunday mornings, I'll just put my earbuds in and turn it on, and every now and then I'll jump in if I can and all that. But usually I'm at work, and but it gets my morning done a lot quicker listening to you guys. So that's a great one. And then obviously Friday night's a fun one to listen to as well. Snob, you got anything coming up? Doing anything?
Stuff and things.
Stuff and things.
Yeah, I just released a video. Go watch it if you haven't. If you want to. If you don't. I don't care. That's all. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. It was fun.
It was fun. This is exactly what I needed, honestly. We could have gone for another 3 hours if we would have kept talking music. Because we would have gotten into movies, and we would have gotten into rabbit holes that could have gone on with the old 8-hour lobby chats and gun channel days, Clove, what you got going on? Anything?
Well, talking about weekends and shows and stuff. Yeah, man. Saturdays you got Rick Slops, I said, his show, and then Sunday you got Gizzard, and man, both of those great times spent on the weekend if you're lounging around and need something to listen to or participate in, right, in the chat. With me, I mean, probably didn't sound like it, but I'm severely under the freaking weather, so don't expect a lot content-wise from me this week. If I can get well enough to do it, I've actually got I don't know if anybody has been paying any attention to the YouTube Stories feature, which is sort of like a little TikTok thing. And I've actually got a Creators Summit meeting thing, whatever, Thursday on that. So probably our after hours, if I'm feeling up to it, if I don't get any worse. We're probably going to talk about that, how we might could use that YouTube Stories feature in our channels.
There you go. Yep. As for me, I don't know what I'm going to have come out this weekend. I've got 2 guns that should either be here tomorrow, possibly Thursday, but I think it'll be here tomorrow. So that'll force me to get to the range because I have kind of an internal rule that I have to shoot any new guns in 24 hours. So that'll force me to get to the range this week, and at least I might do like a first impressions or initial shots. Especially if you're on Patreon, you will get the first shots of every gun that I have and all that. But the first shots will be on Patreon only. So if you're over there, but I'm not sure what's going to come up this weekend. I don't know if I've got time to get one done this weekend, but if I do, you'll obviously see it out there. But more importantly, go check out Gizzard Gary, the Gun Snob. Go check out our friend Sarge. He's out there. Midnight Range CM's got a great chat. Rich has got a great chat out there on Unloaded Media. Obnoxious One's out there that does a lot of good stuff. Our buddy Steve over at Mr. Big Kid, he's doing some really cool stuff, and he does a really cool thing with mixed with guns, and then he does a lot of cooking and grilling on his channel as well. So but yeah, just go check out a lot of people. There's a lot of guys out there that are doing great work that don't take themselves too seriously, and that's kind of who I like. I like the ones that are going to put good content out there, but understand that we can make fun of ourselves and have a little fun while we're doing it. Some people take themselves too seriously, and it is what it is. Go over, actually starting right now, I bet, but over at Sandhill Shooters, he's got the Get Off My Lawn podcast. It starts at 9 Central. It might be started or it's getting ready to start. So go check that out. A great podcast. Oh, Rich just put out there as well. But go check that out as well. Go check all these guys out. And if you're out there, we always say this, but the best thing that we could have in our community is more cameras that are pro 2A and pro gun, pro firearm. And not everyone is pro. And I think everyone is a gun person is pro 2A, but not everyone is 2A. I've been accused of not being 2A. I think that I'm 2A, but I'm not as much as other people are. But there's a lot of people out there that are doing content, but we need more cameras. And anyone that's willing and able to turn the camera on and put content out there, the more pro gun, the pro 2A content we get on YouTube, they may start, recognizing us and all of that. So, but I am clearly not 2A enough, and I've been told that. Several of us have been told that. We were in the same conversation that we were all told that we weren't 2A enough, and it is what it is. But no, thanks guys for coming on. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. If you're watching this in replay or listening to podcasts, God bless you. But this actually for 2 hours, a lot of it was just kind of fun. So maybe we gave you some albums, some bands, some artists, some songs, some movies, different things that you might not have listened to before, some podcasts that you hadn't listened to before or watched before. Maybe we could go. I want to say before we go, Clover, what was that movie that you were talking about earlier with Stone Cold Steve Austin about the island? What's the name of that movie called?
The Condemned.
The Condemned. I'm actually going to go try to find that because that sounds actually pretty damn good. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next week. Semper Fi.